I'm Eric Segelbaum, an advanced sommelier, which basically means I've spent my life studying wine so that you don't have to. Today, I thought we would talk about some common wine terms so you can be comfortable knowing exactly what they mean. Tannins. These are the bitter, astringent compounds that are basically a plant's defense mechanism. They're found in virtually every organic fibrous material, and it's a way to make the plants less desirable to predators. So when we talk about tannins, what we're really talking about are the things that give a wine a powdery, drying, either scratchy or astringent or creamy feeling in your mouth. If you've ever had sauteed spinach and it's made your mouth really feel dry and chalky and powdery, that's because spinach is incredibly dense in tannins. And if you really want to understand tannins, trust me on this, grab a piece of paper towel, put it on your tongue, press it to the roof of your mouth, count to 3, take it out. That feeling is because the paper is incredibly high in tannin. Now you know. Terroir. This is an abstract French term. You sort of know what it is, but how do you exactly define it? A lot of people think that terroir simply means the dirt or the earth of where something is grown. Now, that is a lot of what has to do with terroir, but that's not the entire picture. I like to think of terroir as a combination of natural occurrences and human intervention. So the soil of a particular region or vineyard area is absolutely important to terroir. Frankly, it's the most important part of it. But so is the climate. Microclimate, macroclimate, and mesoclimate all are involved in that. It's the orientation of the vineyards, the slope, the aspect. A perfect example of this is if you look at Pinot Noir from New Zealand. It's not just the soil, it's not just the elevation, but there's still a very thin part of the ozone layer, and that is over New Zealand. So in Central Otago, the Pinot Noirs from New Zealand get a different type of UV solar radiation, and therefore the grapes ripen differently, and that leads to a different taste in the wine. That's part of the terroir. Another aspect of terroir is human intervention. And this is really best felt in Burgundy, where there are so many laws about what grapes you can and can't grow and what you can and can't do, that the way that you make the wine expresses a sense of place. So ultimately, terroir is nothing more than a sense of place. It's what allows a sommelier like myself to look at a wine, smell a wine, taste a wine, and pretty reliably be able to deduce the grape, and maybe the region where it's from. Now you know. Appellation. No, I'm not talking about the mountains in the eastern part of the United States. I am talking about a term for a delimited growing region. Now, appellations don't just exist for wine, they really exist for any farmed product. Meats have appellations, cheeses have appellations, olives, oils, they all have appellations. But for the sake of wine, and really everything else, what we're talking about is a delimited area of production with precise boundaries. Now, those boundaries can be geographical, or they can be political, or in many cases, a combination of the two. So let's take a great example from here in the United States. Let's look at the country America. America is an appellation. In order to put that on a label, and there are some wines that say they are from America, it simply means that the grapes need to come from, you guessed it, America. Now within America, let's zoom in to California. California is also an appellation. California has geographical boundaries, the Pacific Ocean to the west, we've got mountains to the east. It also has political boundaries. In the north, we call that Oregon. In the south, we call it Mexico. It's a combination of the two, but California is also an appellation. Now, within California, we have the North Coast. And the North Coast is an appellation that encapsulates Sonoma County, Napa County, Mendocino County, and Lake County. As long as the wine comes from anywhere within those counties, you could label it North Coast. Let's get even closer. Zoom in from the North Coast. You might be familiar with Napa Valley. Well, Napa Valley is an appellation too. Again, it's got geographical boundaries, the Mayacamas and Bacchus Mountains on either side, east and west. It's also got some political boundaries and county lines. Zoom in on Napa, and we have multiple small appellations. Clarksburg, Calistoga, Powell Mountain. These are all smaller and smaller appellations. So again, it just simply means there's a delimited region of production with defined boundaries and some sort of rules about what can and can't be done. In the United States, the rules are as simple as the boundaries and little less. In the old world, really we're talking about most of Western Europe and some of Eastern Europe, there are a lot more rules about what can and can't be done. What grapes can be grown, what grapes can't be grown, how much you can plant, the vine density, the production methods, all of those things. But at the end of the day, appellation is simply just a delimited growing region. Now you know. Well, there you have a few of the most common wine terms, but there are many more, so stay tuned. If I have it on good authority, I'll be back with more for you.